Annexure 4. The said note was struck down. Full stop. White. Judgment dated 6/11/23, it was held that the condition of possessing the essential qualification, including training at the requisite date, shall be adhered to. Full stop. Next. In view of the fact that the same note has already been struck down by this court, comma, the note in the advertisement dated 5/8/19 also deserves to be struck down. First off, next. Per contra, learned AG, appearing on behalf of the respondent state, submits that although the note was struck down by the single judge of this court, the same was assailed before a division bench wherein the appeal was admitted. Full stop. Although the judgment was reserved, but the same could not be pronounced. Full stop. But then the appeal remains pending as of date, wherein by the interim order, the State Department has been granted the liberty to complete the selection process, but not afford appointment. Full stop. Next. It has further been submitted that
The direction
condition-
is to maintain status quo. It may not be understood. It is directed, process of selection should not be allowed to be finalized. And the status quo as on today be maintained. That is
By the interim order, the status quo was directed to be maintained for the recruitment of the year 2022. First of next. It has further been submitted that the petitioner is a person, the petitioners are the candidates who, with open eyes, participated in the recruitment process in pursuance to advertisement dated 5/8/19 and never challenge the said note ever. First off, it is only after the note being struck down, qua advertisement of year 2022, that they challenged the said note qua the recruitment of 2019 too. First off, the same being highly delayed, comma, cannot be entertained at this stage. Full stop. It has further been submitted that although an interim order qua the recruitment process of 2019 was granted by a single bench of this court at the initial stage, but then the same was subsequently vacated, and it was specifically directed that the respondents complete the recruitment process of the year 2019. Full stop. Furthermore, it has been submitted that the petitioners are the incumbents who are working on deputation with the respondent department, and therefore they do not intend that the recruitment process be completed, as if the said process is completed and regular employees are recruited, comma, they would definitely be out of job. Next. Further counsels on stay petition. Next. It is an admitted fact that although an identical note in advertisement of year 2022 was struck down by a single bench of this court, but then the appeals against the same has been admitted and remains and is pending adjudication as of date. Full stop. Further, it is an admitted position that the same petitioners preferred a writ petition challenging the same note qua the advertisement of year 2022 in the year 2023.
24.
In the year 2024, but then did not prefer to challenge the same condition of the advertisement of year 2019 at that point of time. Full stop. Meaning thereby, although the petitioners were aware of the same note in the advertisement of year 2019, they did not prefer to choose the same, to challenge the same, till the said note was struck down for the advertisement of year 2022. Full stop. Next, this court, therefore, at this stage is not inclined to entertain the stay application as preferred by the petitioners. Full stop. No case for interim relief is made out at this stage. Full stop. However, the petitioner shall be at liberty to move an appropriate application after, if the special appeal as preferred by the state for the recruitment process
Not selected.
State is not
by the
appealed yet, Your Honor.
Selected.
if the appeal as preferred against the appeal which remains pending for the recruitment process of 2022 is decided. इसको sentence को change करिए. However, the petitioner shall be at liberty to move an appropriate application after decision of the special appeal, which remains pending for the recruitment process of 2022, wherein the issue of the same identical note is in question. Next, stay petition stands disposed of.
They may not maybe final appointment to what.
Sorry. ये आइटम नंबर क्या था? 310.
Serial number 296.
I have to submit 2 things.
Yes.
Firstly, I have instruction on behalf of petition number 4 to not press the writ petition, qua petition number 4. Secondly, Lord, yesterday matter was argued, and after argument, a direction was given to place on record a copy of the expert committee report. Neither the copy was placed on record nor the copy was given to us. The copy was shown to me, but it was taken away. So they should give a copy of expert committee report so we may.
But my lord, your lordship's direction were
That-
not to place on
that
record.
is-
Your lordship wanted to see the expert report which
Dijiye.
we have brought. It is copy of it. The original is with the my lord person who has brought it. And the experts are also available, my lord, who have been there, my lord, to
Dekhiye.
explain what was the meaning of mean which and how they drew the mean.
Yes. Yes, कौन है एक्सपर्ट बताइए एक बार बेसिक समझाए कि ये किया क्या है.
I have just seen the report, only first page, but you kindly see the date.
Yes.
1st April 2025, result declared on 3rd April. This formula was given on 1st April. Next 17 lakh candidates were there. They, as per their record,
It is computerized ना. Computerized में तो करना क्या होता है.
24 hours they will prepare the result as per
कंप्यूटर करता है ना. मैनुअल थोड़ी करना होता है.
साथ रिजल्ट
मैनुअल नहीं करना होता है ना. It is computerized.
I have not seen the report. What were the requirement and whether this report says किस शिफ्ट का पेपर वीक था, किस शीट का पेपर.
वही देख रहा है, वही हमने देखा, वही उनसे समझना है. ये हमें समझना है, आपको समझने की जरूरत नहीं है. Yes, Mr. Yes.
explain my lord what has been explained to me. If there is any question,
Yes, बताइए.
what they have done is, my lord, your lordship may have an action. Firstly, your lordship wanted to know as to how the mean has been calculated. The mean has been calculated by, my lord, adding the scores in a particular shift, my lord, adding the scores of all candidates and dividing by the number of students, the mean comes to. So for every shift, mean has been calculated like this.
Okay.
And thereafter combined mean, my lord, has been calculated by adding the scores of all the candidates and dividing by the total number of candidates. So this is how mean has been calculated.
Combined mean means of all the shifts.
All the shifts, my lord, total candidates appear, their scores having been, because 6 shift if we add, my lord, these 6 will be added, it will give the addition of but the combined score and divided by total number of students who appeared. That is the way mean has been calculated. If your lordship will see annexure 1 below,
Yes.
that is with reference to computing difficulty level of the various shifts.
Yes.
Now what they have done, as I have been told below, that this minimum, this is the serial number are with regard to shifts. The exam code is the paper given below to different candidates.
ठीक है.
Total valid questions in each, because certain questions were deleted, etc. Therefore, the instead of 150 in different shifts, the valid questions were like this.
Where are you reading?
Below,
Page number 3. Page number 3.
annexure
number-
1 at page 3.
Page 3. क्योंकि सब पे annexure 1 ही लिखा है.
Sorry, page 3. First page of annexure 1.
Yes, first page. Yes.
Yes. These are
Exam code,
descriptive
total valid questions,
statistics,
total-
my lord, how they have done it. Serial number is, my lord, shifts 1 to 6. Exam code is the question papers code, my lord, given in different shifts. Total valid questions, because there were deletions or additions in some question papers. So total number of valid questions, number of candidates which appeared in each shift, that has been provided. This is minimum and maximum level of difficulty. The level of difficulty has been calculated as I have been told, my lord. This is the minimum, each question has been, my lord, seen from the purpose of as to how many persons have scored correctly in each question and how many have scored incorrectly. That gave, my lord, say out of 100 students, 30 have scored correctly and 70 have scored incorrectly.
That means the question is difficult.
Difficult. In other paper, if 70 have correctly scored and 30 didn't correctly score, then it was found to be easy. The charts will make it clear, my lord. Bottom, your lordship will see. Let us have, my lord, the difficulty level of at next page, my lord.
ठीक है, सारी shifts का difficulty level वो किया है.
हाँ, next देखें साहब, इसमें थोड़ा सा it will give a glimpse immediately.
Yes.
In shift 1, let us see, my lord, how many persons scored 90.
Yes.
In shift 190, the 20,000 students, about 20,000 and more students scored 90.
Not 20,000, 50,000 से कुछ, 20,000 से कम.
Yes, 90. Yes, Mr. Less than 20, but more than 15,000.
Yes.
In the next, we will see, my lord, it is lesser.
Yes. It's less than 15.
Similarly, in its third shift, it is much less.
10,000 ही है.
Yes, but in fourth shift, it is much higher, about nearing to, my lord, more than 15,000 and between 20,000. In fifth shift, 90 is lesser. In sixth shift is much lesser. Similarly, if we come to
So
Milord,
this is how they calculated the difficulty of the
level
paper.
Milord, and this is the average. The mean has been drawn Milord, and then the combined mean has been drawn
ठीक है.
deeply.
Yes, Mr. Joshi. The thing is, there is कहीं पर ये नहीं है कि because of this formula, someone else has either been benefited or out of the same shift, some people have been awarded more marks and किसी का कम कर दिया, there has been a reduction mark. It's not that. पूरा complete parity है, जिसका बढ़ा है उस शिफ्ट में सबका बढ़ा है, जिस शिफ्ट में कम हुआ उसका सबका कम हुआ.
Report will be supplied, we will also examine.
RTM में अप्लाई करिए ना, आपको मिल जाएगी.
RTM, they refused, Lord, kindly see. I have the document, RTM, they have
Once I have shown to your lordship, my lord, it is not that we want to shield anything. If your lordship says, my lord,
Kindly see, one of the candidates has applied and this was answer was given.
Mr.
he
Mr.
applies.
जोशी, आप सिर्फ एक काम करिए,
Yes, sir.
अगर आपको लगता है ना कि फॉर्मूला गलत है, ठीक है, 5 अलग लोगों पे वो फॉर्मूला अप्लाई करके देख लीजिए.
एक बार हमको
If there is a discrepancy,
Yes.
खत्म बात. You will have your remedy. Otherwise, nothing at this stage. It's completely okay. लिखिए इसमें. The present writ petition has been filed. Aggrieved of. Result dated 3-4
My
months.
friend is there, may I take?
Yes.
lordship's
Annexure 6. Aggrieved of. Result dated 3-4-25 bracket में annexure 6. Whereby the result in pursuance to the recruitment for animal attendants has been declared. Full stop. Next. The case of the petitions is that a process of scaling, a scaling formula has been adopted in the present recruitment, whereas as per the conditions of the advertisement, it was only to be a process of negative marking. Full stop. As per the advertisement, 1 mark for each correct answer, and deduction of 1/4 mark for each incorrect answer was to be made. Full stop. The advertisement nowhere prescribed for the scaling oblique normalization oblique rationalization method to be adopted. Next. It has further been submitted that it has further been submitted that despite adopting the scaling formula, the raw marks of the candidates have not been declared. Next, thirdly, no cutoff for each category. No cutoff marks for each category have been declared while declaring the result. Next. Responding to the above arguments as raised on behalf of the petitioners, it has been submitted on behalf of the respondent department that as more than 17 lakh applications were received in pursuance to the advertisement in question, a requirement arose to conduct the examination in different shifts as a written examination for 17 lakh candidates could not have been conducted in one shift. Full stop. As soon as it was decided that the examination was to be conducted in different shifts, it was realized that to maintain a parity, the normalization oblique scaling method would be required to be adopted. Full stop. Therefore, at the set stage itself, void. Notification dated. Yes, where is that?
Page 33. ma'am.
Page 33.
Annex 3.
Void. Circular dated 5/6/24. Bracket में next 3. It was notified that the examination would be conducted in different shifts and further the normalization method would be adopted for the recruitment in question. Full stop. The said amended circular was notified to be a part of the original amendment, original advertisement. Next. So far as the scaling formula, next इसके पहले लिखिएगा. So far as the non-declaration, so far as the ground of non-declaration of raw marks of the candidates is concerned, comma, after the said ground being raised before this court on the first date of hearing, comma, admittedly, the raw marks of the unsuccessful candidates have been declared by the department. Full stop. This
Board. Board. Staff selection board.
by the staff selection board. Full stop. The issue, the said issue, therefore, now is not required to be gone into. Next. So far as the scaling formula as adopted by the State Department is concerned, comma, it has been submitted that the same was recommended by an expert committee which was appointed for the said purpose. First off, the committee, after a thorough consideration of the question papers of all the six shifts, okay, after a thorough research of thorough consideration of the question papers of all the shifts, computed the difficulty level, and then as per the difficulty level of the set papers of the question papers in all the six shifts, comma, recommended a specific formula to maintain the parity between the candidates appearing in all the shifts and attempting different question papers. First off, Learned AAG submitted that there is no ground that it is not the case of the petitioners that the department acted malafidely or any corrupt practices had been adopted while applying the formula, applying the scaling formula. Full stop. Council further submitted that the fact that a normalization process would be adopted was very well intimated to the candidates at the first stage itself, and now when the candidates participated in the said process without raising any objection to the same at that stage, comma, cannot now, after the result being declared, lay a challenge to the same. Full stop. A further ground has been raised that the courts would not sit in appeal over the recommendations opinion of an expert committee. Full stop. If the report recommendation of the committee is not found to be is not found to be mala fide, comma, the courts cannot interfere. Courts should not generally interfere with the same. Next. In support of submissions, council relied upon the 3 judgments and लिख दीजिएगा. State versus Atul Kumar Dwivedi, Devika Panchara and Gaurav Sharma. Yes, Mr. Joshi, आपका एक judgment था ना?
ये गौरव
You had cited one.
Yes. साथ में थे। ये गौरव सर ने और ये तो लिखी है।
Gaurav Sharma, Devika Panchara and Atul Kumar Dwivedi और एक दीपेंद्र यादव. इन चारों को लिख दीजिए. Yes, आपका एक था ना कोई? अतुल द्विवेदी के पहले का ही था या अतुल द्विवेदी था?
अतुल त्रिवेदी के पहले का संजय सिंह.
संजय सिंह, यस, संजय सिंह वर्सेस यूपीएससी, उनके उसमें लिख दीजिएगा. नेक्स्ट, फर्दर काउंसिल्स प्रोड्यूस द रिकॉर्ड. नेक्स्ट, this court is not inclined to interfere in the present petition for the following reasons. First,
And this argument is also recorded. A copy of the expert committee report was not placed on record, nor copy was given to us.
मिस्टर को हम लिखा देंगे, लिखिए इसमें. At the council, इसके पहले लिख लीजिएगा एक.
ये तो हमने प्रोड्यूस तो करा देते हैं
After hearing all the councils at length on Tapis 725, the court directed London AAG to keep the expert committee report for perusal of this court on the next date, that is today. Full stop. The same has been furnished to the court for perusal today. Full stop. Next, the court thoroughly examined the said report and even sought the assistance of the expert who was present before the court to explain the same. Next, counsel for the petitioners raised an objection that the copy of the said expert committee has not been supplied to him. Next, the said objection, next, in the opinion of this court, the same is not required to be done. Full stop. The report had been called by the court to examine and to satisfy itself regarding the scaling formula as adopted, as recommended by the committee and as adopted by the board. Full stop. The petitioners, if desire to have to obtain a copy of the said report, it is very well open for them to proceed in accordance with law. Next, had the councils ये पहले लिखवाना है, फिर उसके बाद had the councils period the record. Next, this court is not inclined to interfere in the present petition for the following reasons. First, admittedly, the fact that the written examination for the recruitment in question was to be conducted in different shifts, and the adoption of the normalization process was notified with amended circular dated 5/6/24 bracket में निक्षेप 3 full stop. Meaning thereby, all the incumbents who were inclined to participate in the process were aware of the same at that point of time. Full stop. None assailed the set condition / procedure at that point of time. Full stop. Meaning thereby, none of the candidate was agreed of the said process to be adopted by the respondent department. Full stop. As is the settled position of law, any candidate who participates in a recruitment process cannot at a subsequent stage challenge any condition of the advertisement after having declared unsuccessful or so and so वो उसको यहाँ पे जजमेंट ऐड हो जाएगा. नेक्स्ट सेकेंड. Admittedly, nay, it is not in dispute that more than 17 lakh candidates applied for the posts in question, and it is humanly impossible to conduct an examination for that number of students in on one particular day or in one shift. Full stop. Therefore, the decision of the department to conduct the examination in different shifts was the most natural consequence. Full stop. The issue now is when any examination for a recruitment is conducted in different shifts, what can be the attempt to maintain a parity between the candidates who appear in different shifts and attempt different question papers. Full stop. It is the most natural consequence of the examination being conducted in different shifts that the question papers can be easy in some shift and tough in some other shift. Full stop. In those circumstances, a parity definitely has to be maintained between different set of candidates appearing in different shifts. Full stop. As is the settled position of law, the best method to maintain the parity is adoption of some normalization / scaling / rationalization process. Full stop. This is what has been done in the present matter. Full stop. Present matter, and rightly so. Full stop. Next, coming on to the issue whether the scaling formula as adopted by the respondents is correct or whether some other formula ought to have been adopted, the court is of the clear view that the same is not within the domain of the courts to decide as to which formula would have been better or which formula ought to have been adopted by the respondent department. Full stop. As held by the Honorable Apex Court in so and so, it is the jurisdiction of the experts to decide on the said issues. Full stop. The same having been done by an expert committee in the present matter, it does not require any interference by this court. Full stop. Furthermore, this court has thoroughly gone through the expert committee report and finds it totally justified, wherein a complete consideration of the difficulty standard of the question papers in all shifts has been taken care of. Full stop. Next. In view of increase for interference is made out, writ petition is dismissed.
Petition number 40 also not.
वो पहले लिखिएगा, सबसे शुरुआत में लिखिएगा. At the very inception, counsel for the petitioner seeks permission to withdraw the present petition for petitioner number 4 in view of the submission made, dismissed as withdrawn for petitioner number 4. Your item number?
296. Then video number 1.
Yes.
Stand for mediation process.
भेज दें इसको
क्योंकि मैटर पर्टेन्स टू रिकवरी
और हो जाएगा, डिसाइड हो जाएगा, लॉ सेटल्ड है. ये जहां पे जजमेंट्स है वहां पे आप लोग जजमेंट के साथ में करवा दीजिए इसको. मेक एन अटेम्प्ट. अपने स्टाफ में से, अपने ऑफिस में से 2 बच्चों को तैयार करिए who would be attending these matters only. मेडिकल